All right. Looks like I set everything up correctly, as far as I can tell. It feels like it's been a month since we did one of these. And now that I'm looking, was the last one of these that went up, like, was it the third? That at 20 days? Now I know that I missed, well, I don't know. Maybe I just didn't name the last one right. I don't know. I'm not going to claim to remember right now. Feels like it's been a while. We're going to see how this one runs. I'm still a little bit raspy, but otherwise I'm doing a lot better, like a lot better. And I should continually to get better, especially since I go in Wednesday to have my stuff taken care of. I got a fan on. We'll see if that interrupts or messes with the mic or anything like that. Hopefully it does not, because it is starting to get warm out there. And that is a problem because this room in particular seems to be the hottest room in the house. I think it's because it's a tiny room and I have the computer and the lights in here. So, wonderful. But we'll see. We'll see how it works. Let me bring this up, make sure this is right. Do I got the... Yeah, I do. Hey, what's going on? Okay, let's change that to live, and let's also get the first poll up and running so we can get started. How about we do all of that? So, let's see. A dupe. Okay, we'll start with that, and then we'll go for that, and we'll do, because that is back in the running now that it's uncovered, and then we'll do that, and that should be the first wave of possibility. It's a pretty good weekend. I've been doing a lot of overtime. I've been literally doing like no less than 10-hour days every single day of the week, and I've been going in on the weekends. But holiday weekend, I have Monday off, and because contract says they could not force, so I got all 3 days, and I have been making use of them. Friday, I was up till like 3 in the morning, just playing Conan Exiles and hanging out. And then like Saturday, I fixed the mower. I went to a buddy of mine's house. I hung out there for a while, played a couple games, came back, got back on Conan, played some Conan for a while. Today, woke up, got all my stuff taken care of, immediately went to the message popped up, and then I read the message, and then instead of thinking, so I'll start that part over. And then today, woke up, got all my stuff taken care of, got something to eat, got a couple of waters, came in to do this, and I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing today. I know I'll more than likely be back on Conan. My goal is to actually beat that game, to get to the part where you get to the end and you've done everything you can do, and you pull the bracelet and you leave the exile lands. I want to do that. I've never done it. I've put 160 hours into that game. Some people will put thousands and thousands, but I've done 160 hours in that game, and I feel like I've never really accomplished anything. So this time, I've been very meticulous and very serious about how I'm playing. I'm going very slow. I'm learning everything that I can. I'm trying to actually figure all the crafting stations and exactly how they work. And it's been cool. It's going pretty well, and it's been keeping a lot of my interest. And it's been nice with everything else that's been going on to be able to focus on that. I have fallen behind on editing for this, which isn't necessarily good. I got to get back into editing, but there's been a couple of reasons that I haven't been editing as well, and it's got to do with the overtime and everything. And then like I get home at 6, I go to bed at 9:30. There's not a whole lot of time to do anything aside from like cook, eat, sleep. And then of course I had to mow the lawn and everything, and then with the tooth and whatnot. And then while I was mowing the lawn, I was mowing. The last time I mowed, which was like Wednesday night, I was mowing and I heard a praying noise, and the bolt, one of the bolts on the back of the mower had popped and shot off, which was crazy. And then the wheel came off because of that, and the whole mower body went sideways. And yeah, so then I spent, like I said, a good couple hours yesterday basically pulling the mower apart and putting the body back together. So it's life, man. It's life. What can I tell you? But with all the complaining that we can do, I'm not hurting right now. Doing pretty good. Got toys. Look, man, what am I going to do, really? It's all just noise. It's all just noise as long as I'm living my life and enjoying it, so whatever. Can't tell if it's crappy phone connection or while taking the wife to work, but it's buffering badly for me. Gonna say it's me issue because of the rain here. Oh, rain. I wonder if that means it's coming my way. Because right now we don't have anything. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of cloud buildup. I don't know. If it does rain like crazy, that's fine with me because it's Conan time, so I'll get over it. Marvel Legends is currently winning this one, and that could end up being the win because it usually takes till around like 10:30 or so for people to start like showing up, which is fine. I'm not worried about that one way or another. Let's fix that. I don't think I have a channel update. Let me see, because sometimes I do. Looks like in my clips, I'm currently working on 12/8/25 chapters. I also have 87 videos that I know I'm due to make, like that I have pictures. So I specifically took the pictures, so I know there's thumbnails, which means there's got to be videos coming down the line. So I have at least 87 videos to cut, and then I also have 9 topic videos that I have listed over here that I need to get to, but it's just until they do this tooth thing, it has not been realistic to just like sit up here all day and like edit. My mind kind of floats off. Let's see, you seen the second trailer for Lanterns? Your thoughts about the same? Or I don't detest the suits. They're fine. They seem to very much be going with the idea that like the old Green Lantern, his suit was not made from the ring. He actually did have a suit. This seems to be a Hal Jordan that's already practiced. He's already existed for a while. I mean, Guy is already out there, so that makes sense. Hal was the first one. We're now training John, which is wrong, but we've talked about this before. Everything is wrong if you want to argue comic book movies and things like that. So, like, John should have been the second Lantern, and we really should have been training Guy, but here we are training John, and Guy's already a thing. And Guy's costume doesn't look right yet either, but I think we're going in that direction. I think the idea is to build and move towards it. I really do. Like, right now, he's a sponsored hero. He's a Green Lantern, but he's sponsored. You know what I mean? He's under Max Lord's, basically, umbrella. You get the idea. I think they're kind of playing with that concept, and we'll see how it goes. But I think that in reality, he will end up wearing that green. I do. I really do think so. But I don't know. Like, I just don't know how to feel about it. Part of me is really hoping that this works. That they change enough, but it, previews are oftentimes out of context. I'm hoping they've changed enough that it's still exactly what it needs to be, and it's a Lantern movie, and it works, and it finally gets the Lantern out in the limelight and allows him to be something. Because, like, after the Ryan Reynolds movie, they were, like, afraid of Green Lantern. They would not use him for anything. Like they were afraid of him. I swear they were. Do one bad movie, man. Only Batman gets away with doing a bad movie and then getting to come back next year. Like, he's the only one I could think of, man. Hey, what's going on? Hey. All right, everybody's piling in. So far, Marvel Legends has this, and I'd be very surprised if that turns around. So I'm going to go ahead and log this one as Marvel Legends, and we're going to see what we get out of it. So we've got a couple of Marvel Legends. Oops. Okay, let's try. There's that. Oh. Is that right? Nope, I was wrong. But that is, yeah, that's right. So I have that, so that's set. Then I have... Oh, I didn't open that. But we are skipping it because that's going to be for... You know what? No, we'll add it. And if I end up doing it here, I end up doing it here. There. We'll see where that takes us. My uncle said there was an article saying Robert Downey Jr. will return as Iron Man after Secret Wars to make 3 more Iron Man films. It has to be fake news, but if it's true, 70-year-old Tony Stark is not believable. Unless they play to the idea that he is older. Like the suit is basically doing most of the job for him, and he has to rely on things like bringing in War Machine to handle things that he wants to do, and maybe even if they kind of fold in Ironheart and things like that, if they play off an aspect that he almost becomes a Batman Beyond, you know, that thing we're never gonna get, maybe they could get away with something close to that. I don't know. But it is true that the older the actors get, the more we're really pushing the line here with what we can believe. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I guess that's all we could do. It's all we could do. Now that the future Foundation figures have been revealed, I'm hoping we get that Mole Deluxe announced. I'm surprised that we haven't. Very surprised. Like, I thought for sure. When they showed off the sewer lid, I thought for sure we were getting Mole Man. And then they never really said, they never moved in that direction. It surprises me. Because it just it really does. It just shocks me. It just shocks me. I'm surprised we haven't seen it. But I could wait. Because I wonder if Mole Man, I wonder if the idea is that they want to do something specific that comes down to a made to order for whatever reason. I don't know. We'll wait and see. Look, I got the Future Foundation. I'm happy. I'm happy. It's what I wanted. That's the main thing I wanted. I got it. I'm happy. See where it goes from there. In Avengers vs. Aliens comic book, Tony seriously is like 200 years old, and his wheelchair can turn into an iron suit. I can't lie, it was pretty cool. I mean, you're talking about a character that no matter how old he gets, his entire gimmick is robot basically fights for him. I mean, I'm betting on SDCC. Won't be shocked if he's packed in with a giant moloid or something. Now that would be crazy. But if it was an SDCC exclusive with moloid, like that feels like they'd be, I don't know, that very much feels like I was saying, that doesn't feel like an SDCC, though they've surprised me before. But I feel like that's very much like what I was saying with the with the made to order, because the made to order just makes sense that the made to order would be where you'd drop something like that, because it'd be pretty big, and all of a sudden we've got the Sentinel, and that's really big, and then we got the Mephisto, and then we've got a big friggin' Apocalypse. So like that's where big figures tend to make sense. I'm thinking, yeah. Did you hear that Matthew Lillard, a.k.a. Shaggy, will supposedly be Plastic Man in the DC Universe now? Huh. So that would be cool, but, like, he's also getting up there in age. Like, is every superhero now just going to basically be like a nearing 50s or over 50s guy? Like, is that where superheroes kind of... Because to me, I've always felt like superheroes fall in the 25 to 35 category and then go from there. Like, I know there are exceptions. There are young heroes and whatnot, but the main branch of superheroes, like Superman makes sense when he's around 30, 33. Like, he's in his 30s. That's where my visual idea comes from. Not that he didn't start before that, but if we're going to talk about this is Superman, peak comic book era, lifestyle, body decisions, in terms of like how far you've gone in life, learned the lessons you've learned, 30s seems right for a lot of these superheroes, especially somebody like Batman. Batman, I actually believe, is in the upper 30s, like around 38, 39, or falling into the low 40s, 40, 42. That seems peak Batman to me. He's just old enough to have learned all the things that he's learned. He is getting older, so it's getting tougher, and he's relying on gadgets to kind of pick up the slack, while at the same time, he has Robins and a Bat family that he's been able to build. That feels like peak Batman to me. If you're asking where I feel the time is for superheroes being in their peak, in the best storyline possibilities, it feels like they're in their 30s or very late 20s. That feels right to me with a lot of superheroes. Like, it just works. That's the way I've always kind of felt about a lot of superheroes. What's up, everyone? And Bill, did you already chat a Power Rangers figure? No, I did not. I have not talked about those yet. Also, did you see Entertainment Earth has G.I. Joe TMNT crossovers for pre-order? I saw those. I have also not commented about them, but some of those are neat. Every superhero being in their 50s is exactly what I was telling my uncle for a while now. Mr. Fantastic was supposedly in his 40s when the Fantastic Four formed, which that works for him. Like I said, he's one of those guys that I would almost picture about 45, personally. I feel like he's an older guy. He's around 45, but his powers are broken. And it doesn't matter that he's 45. He's not going to reach that point where other people do, where their body's like falling apart, because his body is literally different now. Like, I don't see that as an issue for him, as opposed to I see it for like some other people. But I mean, I don't know. I'll be waiting for when Hasbro announces X-Men 97 Beast. Oh my God, dude. That is taking some real time, is it not? Like, oh man. They are milking that one like crazy. Okay, I'm actually surprised here, but we're going to do it. Captain America. This is the one I wanted. Right here. This. We've talked about on this channel a couple of times what happens with figures. Okay? That at what point do you jump in and buy the one you want? You could buy every Wolverine, or you could wait for the one that speaks to you. You could buy every single He-Man, or you could wait for the one that speaks to you. They finally did him right, I'm buying him. You could buy every Ninja Turtle, or you could buy the 4 that makes sense to you. But it's tough to know where that falls. You want a Spider-Man? What Spider-Man makes sense? What one finally makes you go, that's for me? That's the Spider-Man for me. It's hard to lock this down. In fact, in some cases, it can be impossible. And sometimes we get the idea that that's definitely what we're looking for, and we buy it. Only to turn around and have them release what we were actually looking for a week or two later. Sometimes it literally feels like a week or two later. It's wild. Well, every now and then there's a different problem altogether. There's this problem. They released this. The Captain America I want. Slash effect for the shield. Reflection for the shield. Lightning for the shield. The shield. It's got the little holes in it, but the shield, we're going to talk about a lot of things here. We could easily take another shield from another one of our Captain Americas and replace this one, and then have him have the full shield. Or one could argue that this should have come with 2 shields, a complete and an effects shield. Or one could argue that the effects should have kept this in mind and did it like the Gamerverse shield, where the effect clips onto the shield via the sides. Like if the lightning was a little more thorough and had a wraparound effect, like a small hook, basically, in the lightning that would hit the sides of the shield to then hang on to the shield. Or where this effect that cut up would have had a small clip in the back that would have hooked onto the shield. It doesn't break the shield. There's no holes in the shield. Could you have done that with these little bullets, though? No, not without sticky tack or something of that nature. And the common collector is not looking to get creative. They're looking to buy a figure and put it on their shelf. Only other real option at that point for the common collector is to pack in a second shield. And we've mentioned this before. I've mentioned this in multiple videos. Everybody's figure is somebody's first figure. Not everybody starts where we are. I say we as if I know your collecting circles or your habits. I don't. But making a generalization, go with me, it helps me to explain. Not everybody has bins of extra hands. Not everybody has that many frickin' Spider-Men, because they're like there and they're up there and they're over there. So like, I'm just saying. Not that shelf. There's shelves over there, okay? And there's Spider-Man. There's a lot of Spider-Men in here. I have plenty of web shooter hands. Like a lot of them. And some of them are all about the same red. Some of them are different shades of red. Some of them you wouldn't be able to tell anyway. It's fine. If I get a Spider-Man and he doesn't have wall crawly hands, guess what? I'm sure I have wall crawly hands. I'm 100% sure I have wall crawly hands, and with the correct photography or distance, you wouldn't know anyway. Most of these figures are universal. So, if you buy multiple G.I. Joes and multiple Marvel Legends, you end up with a whole bunch of human hands that you can swap in and out to the different characters, and it works. It works. You'll be fine. But somewhere, somebody is starting their collection. Or maybe it's not even a collection. Maybe they like Captain America. And that is it. I used to have a buddy he has evolved and like many other heroes over time. But when we were growing up, he liked Captain America. And that was it. Not that he didn't appreciate other superheroes, but if you played a fighting game and Captain America was in it, he was going to pick the captain. If we played Marvel Legends and the captain was there, he was the captain. If we played, what was that, Captain America and the Avengers, guess who he was picking? The captain. Captain was his guy. I know a guy at work, he only buys Hulks. That is it. Nothing else. Oh, and Skeletors. It was on his desk. So like when I worked in the office, that's what he had at his desk. He had Skeletors and he had Hulks. That's what he did. That's what he did. So, like, the thing is, everybody has to start somewhere, and this might be somebody's first captain. If it is, this is almost perfect. Like, it's really close to perfect. I haven't opened it yet. I know this is an older figure, and we're going to talk about something else here in a second, too. It's got an unmasked Steve head. It's fantastic. It's got a very good Captain America here. It's got the little part for if you pull the hood down, you could put this around the neck, and it looks like he actually pulled the hood off. That's a cool effect. It's got all the hands that you would need. It's got this salute hand. It's got this point hand. It's got two of these expression hands. It's got the fists. It's got the shield. It's got effects. It's got a background. This is really, really good. He has the straps for if you put the shield on the back, you have the straps on the suit. It has the scale mail. It's painted very well. There's a wash on the scale mail. This is practically perfect. Except for the shield. This would be a perfect buy-in for if you only wanted a Captain America. But then you would encounter the shield problem if you just wanted him to have the shield. And there would be holes in the shield. And that's a pain. And so now you have to buy a second Captain America. And maybe, one could argue, if you want to really help yourself out, you buy the Secret Wars Captain America, keep the extra heads that you like, and basically swap out the parts of this that you like onto that, and you kit bash. But we come back to common collectors. The common collector does not want to kit bash and rearrange their figures to get the guy they want. They just want the one figure that works for them. That is perfect. But a perfect figure, we're going to say something some people won't like, is a maximum figure. I know how that sounds. I'm being a little ridiculous here on purpose. But it's true. You want a Spider-Man with every type of hand? You want an unmasked head? Not that terrible one we got, but you get the argument. You want an unmasked head? You want where the gloves actually come off at the wrist and you have the web shooters? You want 3 or 4 web line effects? A type of shield? You want everything that you could possibly want to do with that Spider-Man, and he's probably got the best posability ever introduced in the entirety of the line. That's what you want. If one thing is missing, you feel like, crap, I'm going to have to get another one. Or there's this one problem. You would like your figure to be complete. But then, what if you miss that perfect figure? The one you want, and it goes to aftermarket. And the aftermarket starts asking like $300 for this. It's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. We're not doing it. So we wait. Another Captain America, say the Secret Wars comes out, and it's practically perfect. It's missing a couple of the things you wish you would have got. But it's almost exactly what you wanted. So you buy it. You're happy, right? But then because you are in Marvel Legends does something that most of these others don't do. Like, until very recently, we never saw it with McFarlane. Like, sure, there were repaints, but not like a re-release of the figure you missed. That was not a thing. Well, hey, a lot of people wanted this. Let's do it again. So they put it back out. But they didn't update it. So now you find yourself at a crossroads. Do you go back to buy the one that you thought you absolutely wanted? This captain? Or do you cut your losses and just stick with the one that you've got? Because it's really good. The Secret Wars Captain America is really good. What do you do? Where does your decision fall at that point? Well, for me, I did feel like I wasted a little bit of money here. I jumped on the one that I absolutely wanted. This, but I missed it. And by the time I found one, he was in aftermarket, and I couldn't get him. We talked about this in the Captain America video. But they released a Secret Wars Captain America, and he was really good. So I bought that. Only to then have them release a Gamerverse Captain America, which is fantastic. It's got that one flaw, though. Doesn't have the scale mail. I like the scale mail. So we now have basically a perfect Captain America, but no scale mail. Crap. Talking about a kit bash situation again. But we can't really remove the top of that Captain America and use this one because it won't have the butterflies. Well, I made a decision. I fought with myself about it. Do I kit bash? Do I play the game? Do I move this and that? Because this one is pinless and yada yada and everything else. And it's kind of what I want, but it doesn't have the same paint wash. But I don't really want to spend a bunch of time like repainting the Captain America to get the one that I want and do a bunch of extra stuff. I'm not really about that for this character right now. What do? You know that buddy I was talking about that picks all the Captain Americas? I gave him the Secret Wars Captain America. He came over one night and I said, here you go. And he's like, oh, dude, cool. And I said, I just got the Gamerverse Captain. He's really, really good. And they're coming back out with the anniversary one. That's the one I wanted. It was the one that caught my attention. It's the one that felt most right. Pins don't really bother me that much. I'm going to buy him. I don't have a purpose for multiple Captain America on the shelf. I now have a Gamerverse Captain America because the figure is just so good. I have an Ultimate Captain America, and I have the one I always wanted. At this point, Captain America-wise, I'm out of the game. There's nothing left. I'm out of the game. Unless they shock me, which is possible, but it would be many years later, I imagine. I don't think we're going to see a Captain America that honestly makes it so that if you have this, you have to have the next one. You know what I mean? Like, people talked about it with Ultimate Hulk, or sorry, with Maximum Hulk. I don't need that Hulk. There's problems with that Hulk, and the one that I've got is still more than good. I'm not upgrading. It's not a big enough upgrade. That's a fair argument. Not that some people weren't jerks about the way that they were talking about it, but that is a fair argument to have. Sometimes the upgrade isn't worth it. And having the one that you absolutely wanted on your shelf, the one that feels right, sometimes that's the end game. You're done. What are they going to do? Release this, exactly this, but pinless? Well, pins and pinless don't affect me the same way it does everybody else. If you asked me what one I prefer, I would tell you pinless. It's fine. I have a preference, but not a preference that makes me hate McFarlane toys because they still have pins. That Brandon back there, solid Superman, pins and all. I'm not mad about it. Most of my toys when I was growing up had pins. And they had metal pins that weren't even hidden. Like, they were just very blatantly, like, they were on there. They were like metal pins. Like this guy has a bolt in his shoulder. You see that? We didn't care that much. That's my original dice. There's a big metal bolt in his shoulder. How do I explain that on the shelf? I don't. I know what this is. I love toys. I collect toys. I collect them for the memories, the stories, the interest, and the joy of it. That's the reason my collection rule is what it is. Every single item in this room has a story, big or small, and once it doesn't, or if it doesn't, it's got to go. It no longer serves a purpose. It's gone. And I do that a lot. This collection is always moving. It's always being looked at. It's always being analyzed. And if the story is no longer relevant or it just doesn't speak to me anymore, another collector gets to pick it up. We're done with it. It's the way I've handled my collection for a long time now. So when I was given the choice to move backwards, out of pins, or rather back into pins, I apologize, I did. Because to me, having the perfect one on the shelf, the one that makes you go, that is Captain America, that was more important to me than all the rest of the argument. Kit bash and everything aside that I could have done, because I could have taken that captain and I could have moved these straps and I could have taken them over and I could have kept the heads that I wanted and yada yada, but he wouldn't be painted the same. Like, it just, this was it for me. This was the perfect one. It's the one I missed. I got a second shot at it. I took it. The other one's gone. A lot of people would argue the upgrade is gone. Why walk backwards? These are toys. Why buy retro toys? That's walking backwards. Sometimes we collect because it means something. Sometimes we collect because it's the best version. Sometimes we collect because it speaks to us. Sometimes we collect because it's stupid. And yes, I have bought things that are just dumb enough that I want them. Sometimes toys are fun. And that's the only thing they need to be, is fun. And that's a story in its own right, depending on the argument. Want reference? Look up the Dumbface Skeletor video. I bought him because of his face. And he has an entire series of videos on this channel just because he's stupid fun. He's one of my favorite toys on the shelf, quite literally. It's just great. So I bought this Captain America. And all of that is why. But don't forget that thing I said about everybody gets one toy that's their first toy and that toy should be utterly complete. Because we're going to talk about something else when we open this that might contradict that statement. And I know that sounds a certain way too. Because, Bill, you can't advocate for one thing and then immediately turn around and advocate for the other thing. But I can, because life is not simple, okay? It's not all black and white. Some gray areas exist. And that toy right there, that is kind of a gray area in terms of what I want to talk about. So we're going to quickly turn this into a 2-for video. Or a 3-for? Should we do a 3-for? 3-for video, baby! This brings up a topic. And that's all it's going to be. Why did I buy this? Him. We're done. That's it. What does this come with? It comes with her and him on basically the best bodies they can possibly come on right now. His best costume that he's ever worn, arguably, for me. I think this is a brilliant costume. Her, she's fine, she's passable. It's a Black Widow costume. I'll get over it. Decent heads, hands, minimal. Minimal inclusion of accessories. Now, one could argue, where are her guns, her trigger fingers, her little effects on the arms that shoot the things and whatnot? Where's all of that? Bill, she doesn't feel complete. One could argue, absolutely, that's true. Absolutely, that is true. But I have a question that these bring up, and one that I think it's time to address seriously. Lately, we have seen a new trend in figures where, and we're going to pick on Maximum, we're going to continue to pick on it, even though I'm currently buying like almost every Maximum, but it brings up an interesting level of conversation, and I want to have that conversation. So here it goes. You have a Maximum figure. Why is it Maximum? Is it because it's the best possible figure that they could have made at the time? No. No, it's not. Is it because it's a 100% new sculpt? No. No, it's not. You could have made that argue had they stopped at Spider-Man. 100% new sculpt, more webs than we've ever seen, every single hand you could possibly want, 2 heads, 3 heads, if you count the unmasked head, an effect, all these kinds of extra things. You could have argued that was the idea. But they followed it with the Hulk, which was a lot of reuse, 3 new heads, and a new body test thing that some people hate, some people love, and some people are indifferent. I fall in the indifferent scale. It doesn't bother me. There are things about it that I actually like, but I'm not oblivious to the fact that it could very well be prone to tearing and discoloration. That has not happened to mine. I imagine that inevitably it will, but all figures inevitably age out and change over time. That's why people's stormtroopers are yellow now. Look, toys age. We come from a time, at least I do, when we played with toys. And they got dirty, and they broke, and they lost parts, and that was kind of part of the experience. So what makes a figure worth your money today? Maximum figures, right? This is going to sound really stupid, because it is, but it deserves its own conversation. Stuff. That's Maximum. Stuff. It's what it is. Look, we can reuse. It's not about the best sculpt, because we're purposely using some sculpts that are almost a decade old to sell the thing that we want to sell, and then adding 1 or 2 upgrades and calling it Maximum. Is that a valid concern when your original introduction was this is all new stuff, the most accessories, the best one we can do, the Maximum? Then you would imagine that they would have followed that through, but they didn't. They proved that they're more than willing to play reuse, even down to the idea of possibly figures coming out so old that they may even have pins. And I know how some people feel about pins. Is that a... So then what is it? Well, it's stuff. Put a whole bunch of stuff in the box, like maybe some broken concrete, and because they're not the only ones playing this game. Go look at something like McFarlane, who releases a Spawn figure, who He could have went all out and made it the very best Spawn figure he's ever done and charged $60, but he didn't. He added a bunch of hands and chains and like a board with a nail in it and a stand that's a piece of a ground and a card and a stand for that card. Stuff has arguably become one of the things that the common buyer wants. And I just made an entire argument for it. Everybody's figure somewhere along the line is their first figure. Their complete experience. This is it. You got everything you could want, aside from a couple of complaints that you could make. But I guess that's the nature of the beast. However, could one argue that instead of increasing the value up to $60 with stuff, maybe it's time to start considering, especially with the way a lot of this works, where I mentioned that figures are massively universal, is it possible to start making the argument that if we're going to just keep buying Spider-Man, we're going to get all those hands anyway? Would it be better if maybe Spider-Man came with his 2 punching hands and maybe 2 crawling hands and maybe these, and even that's being excessive, and there was nothing else? No unmasked head, no spider hood thing, no thing pulled back around the thing for Wolverine. No, but in exchange that you don't get webs and web splatters and web lines and stands and everything else, instead, they pumped all that money into the figures. And we brought back things like excessive paint apps, wash, articulation. But you won't get as much stuff with it. Is that the better road traveled? Because this, and I'm not making the argument that these are the best figures. It's just a topic that I started thinking about when I saw some people complaining that they don't come with anything. They were like, this is basically a $60 box. It's as basic as it can be. They're right. They're right. It is as basic as it can be. That's 100% reuse, except for these heads, more than likely. And I don't know if these heads are reuse from something else. I don't have that experience to be able to tell you. She is 100% reuse of the body, basically. Maybe even these gauntlets came from something else. And even the heads are probably from other figures. Maybe they're painted slightly different, but other Black Widow figures. Have we already seen this head multiple times? I don't know. I'm making a generalization. All you have is expression hands and punching hands. All you have is expression hands and punching hands. He didn't even get running hands, like this type of thing, right? You could have reused the salute hands as running hands. We didn't get that. Are they incomplete? And with the direction we're going, more stuff means more money means more value. Is that right? Or should we be more worried about getting the figures the best the figures can be, with a more minimalistic attitude in terms of what comes with them, paying a fair price and getting the figure, and then maybe, just maybe, playing a Mythic Legions game? Mythic Legions likes to sell weapons packs, head packs, armor packs. Does that make more sense? Am I the only one that's gotten to the point where this attitude right here, even though we've asked for this, I specifically said, I want a figure that's one and done. Here it is. I'm going to add these hands to a box of hands that I have. A tote of hands. Not this, But do you see what starts happening? This is just Street Fighter accessories. That's all it is. Luckily, there's not enough Street Fighter accessories for this to be an excessive problem. But I have a box of this size that's filled to here. And it is just hands. That's not a joke. It is just hands and arms. That is all it is. It's the extra arms for Mr. Fantastic so he can wear his coat. It's 100 Spider-Man hands. It's hundreds of naked human hands. It's green hands and giant hands and thing hands, and it's hands. It is a box of hands that big, almost filled to the top. I am almost at the point of needing a separate box, a second box for hands. And I'm going to put those hands in that box and these hands in that box. And I have another box just for effects, explosions, fire, webs, proton beams, stuff. Cool for photography. And it hasn't overwhelmed me yet. I'm not making that argument. But I am making the argument that realistically going forward, just like if you were to buy hundreds of Lego sets and then later on end up with hundreds of extra Legos that end up in hundreds of extra boxes, and yeah, you could make something with that, sure. I have parts to flip hands and do whatever I want and kit bash much of my heart's content because I have extra arms, extra legs, extra bodies. This stuff does, though, however, pile up because of the way that it is. Stuff is where the price comes from. It's what we've demanded, it seems. Because even when we talk about something, if you'll notice, other YouTubers will often say, there's like nothing with this guy. In fact, I recently bought a Flash, a Jay Garrick, and the only thing he came with was punchy hands. That's fine for me. I can swap out like Superman flight hands and get that running effect that I want. Can you? Have you bought enough figures to be able to do it? Maybe, but not everybody is us. So I think this argument is interesting because it falls in two different categories. There are collectors that have reached a point where I am. We have more than enough stuff. We need the figures to be the final guarantee, the nail in the coffin. We won't need another Conan. We won't need another Spider-Man. That's impossible. I will. But we could get a final Hulk. Or a perfect Wolverine. For me, I don't think that's out of the question. I currently have a Silver Surfer that I don't think I'll ever need another one. I don't see how they could possibly sell me another one. I really do not. I find it impossible. I know this is a lot. It's a lot of conversation. But I've been thinking about this for a while now, and I am honestly curious what people think. Does it make sense to move towards a Mythic Legion idea? Make solid figures, but basic figures. Only the hands you need, only the accessories you need, and sell most of the other stuff as kit bash accessory packs. But focus all that extra money instead of stuff, figure. Final. One figure. Done right. We get a Brandon, but he's in the right suit with the right color and the right color apps. And he has a cape, and it is wired, and he's fully articulated. And then I don't need laser eyes and a bunch of other stuff. I just need it to be right. Or is it, or are there, or do you feel like you are missing out when you buy a figure like a Spider-Man, and he basically gets a punch, a thwip hand, and a wall-crawling hand? And I didn't say hands. I'm very much referencing the newest Spider-Man that came out that I skipped, by the way. I skipped. I didn't buy him. The the Rivals Spider-Man, I didn't buy him. And I did see his hands, and he doesn't feel complete. But also the figure, arguably, I look at him, and he doesn't feel right. That's why I skipped on him. It almost feels like they spent more time and more money making her and her big snowflake accessory and stuff instead of actually putting a decent body on the Spider-Man. Like the feet and arms and whatnot feel old to me. Nothing in this hobby is perfect, which is probably the reason I told that story that I was able to buy 4 Captain Americas while searching for the one that I wanted. But yeah, what's the answer? I'm genuinely interested at what this creates debate-wise. What is the answer? You tell me. I'm going to open toys. All right. Look at that. America still needs your help. Look at that guy right there. He's freaking perfect. I know he is an older figure. I know he has pins. But I know that wash on the chest is beautiful. And I know that he doesn't have those butterflies, man. Ooh, you got to give it to that Captain America back there on that Marvel shelf. Back there on that Marvel Capcom shelf. That is probably the best Captain America we've ever got. But style-wise, if you were to ask me, Bill, when you think about Captain America, what do you think? It's right here. It's not even a question. It is right here. This is Captain America. This. The red, the blue, the white, that's a perfect color right there. The blue on the scales being slightly darker because of the wash, because of the effect. The fact that he has the scales, the scale mail, as far as I'm concerned, that's important. That's a part of Captain America for me. I don't know why, but I really love it. That little line right there on the back where they add the wash to the red and it bleeds in right there, perfect. Absolutely perfect. There's America's ass if you want it right there, buddy. Like, He has the double joint elbows. He has the big gloves that kind of cuff out. He has the cuffed boots that fall down. That is so dumb, these pirate boots, but oh, I love them. I need those on my captain, regardless of how stupid they are. He needs to be able to be stern in the mask, and I don't mind him being stern like this, but also, could I make the argument that I like to see Captain America smile? Is that weird? But I like it. I like the fact that he can salute. I love these straps right here. That's for me, man. I love the fact that I can actually put the shield on his back, and it makes sense for it to be there because it's held by this strap system. That's perfect. I love the fact that he can block lightning. I love the fact that we can recreate that cover of Wolverine slashing the shield. I love the fact that he will deflect bullets. I love the fact that he will point at you while explaining something with his finger here. I love this little thing right here. This little thing that just falls on his back so that when he does take the hood off, it's not a mask. It's a part of the overlay of the bodysuit. And then this head makes sense while this is pulled off. That should come with Wolverines. Like this, for me, this is what I wanted, man. Of all the things that I could have wanted for Captain America, this was it. It doesn't matter about the pins. I'll get over it. It does suck that he can't move as well as the Gamerverse Captain America. But also, I'll get over that. For me, this was what I wanted. And I almost paid that $100. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't. But there were a couple of times that I worked OT and I had the extra money and I seen him going for like $80 to $100 on the aftermarket. And I thought to myself, I only want one Captain America, and he is it. But then I went to a convention and they were selling the Secret Wars Captain America. And I thought, it's basically what I wanted. So I bought that. I'm glad I waited. But one could argue I'd have never spent that $30. Or even bought Ultimate Captain America for $25. If I just would have spent the $80 on him. Would I have saved money in the long run? If I'd have bought the $80? I mean, he's basically $40. I bought one of them for 30 something. I think technically I bought it for $40. It was at a convention. I bought the other one for like 20. I mean, I maybe would have saved about $10 by buying the aftermarket one. Does that make sense to justify an aftermarket purchase? I would argue it necessarily doesn't. $10 is $10. I don't know. I love this. This is cool. There's really no point to it. If I'm going to be 100% honest with you, though, because, like, I'm gonna set this up maybe on one of the shelves. Like, maybe I even won't. I may literally put this in a box. I have a box of cards. It's like the only cards that I have left. I may put this in there, and I don't know if I'll ever use this stand. I have a box of stands as well. Maybe that'll go in there, and that'll be the end of it. Is the shield perfect? We talked about this. I knew it wouldn't be. I knew there'd be 3 holes. I knew I'd get over it. Is it unsightly? I mean, it's noticeable. It is noticeable. I will live with it. And I have extra shields because of what we talked about. So I'm not too worried about it. I have the Captain America for my shelf now. And the idea that they will get me to buy another one, incredibly slim at this point. So I'm happy with it. And in the end, it's all that matters. We justify what we buy. We've made that argument here many times. That's the one I wanted. That's the one I bought. That's the one I have. I don't know that there will be another Captain America video on this channel again. Maybe when we talk about the Avengers, like in what's left, or when I complete an Avengers team. I mean, he'll show up from time to time, and he'll always be on the shelf. But the chance that we do another Captain America video, I think this is it. I think it's a dead topic now, because I've got him. I'm done. I don't know what they would have to do. Ultimate, maximum Captain America, but like really, I just feel like that would just be a bunch of stuff. Would I buy it if they released this with the scale mail that I'm talking about, with multiple heads, multiple hands, 2 or 3 shields for like capturing like shields of the era, a shield effect for like the throw. I don't know. Let's at least be honest with ourselves here. I don't know. I feel like this is the end of Captain America on my channel. But I'm not oblivious to how them releasing like the absolute best can make us like want something. And I'm not oblivious to how FOMO works. But I'll say I have a fairly good track record. While I do buy some things that I said that I wouldn't, Red She-Hulk comes to mind. Did an entire video on it. Most of the time you'll notice that like I'll even do like where they say, oh yeah, we're releasing all this stuff, and most of the time I pass on a lot of it. Like when we talk about the releases, like the May release and the things like that, yeah, they'll get me on things, but then like I wanted Medusa and I wanted Black Bolt, but I wanted them in a 2-pack by themselves. I'm not worried about collecting the Inhumans, and I'm not going to buy a bunch of Inhumans to get them. I skipped on them. Someday, if they release what I want, I'll get what I want. You'll notice I wanted Zabu. My eye is bothering me. But like, I also am not going to justify the buying of an entire Build-A-Figure wave to get what I don't want. So I'd say there's a high probability this is the last time we will buy a Captain America on my channel, but it's never impossible. But I have a fairly solid track record of passing on things that I just feel aren't worth it, and I would be very surprised after this point. So I guess we'll see. Put all that stuff over there. I don't need to open this right now. I told you exactly why I bought this, and we don't have to go over any of this. So this is not going to have its own video. I will probably do a thing where in the chapters, I'll split this part of the conversation off, I guess. We're here to open toys. Let's just open it. It's not a... This isn't a big, like a lot of the other ones. We're not going to, like, go in deep or talk about the figures. But, like, if I open it... I'm, like, trying to pull it open. I didn't even cut the tape. Just trying to, like, manhandle the box open, which I started feeling it tearing. And then I'm like, why am I having to tear this box? Because you're an idiot, Bill. That's why you have to tear the box, because you're an idiot. Stupid people do stupid things. That's why you do stupid things, Bill. There we go. Get out of there. Cool. All right, sure. For the sake of that video, when it does come up and I end up splitting the footage, this is who I wanted. This is the literal only reason I bought the pack, right here. This is him. I think this costume is brilliant. Like, it's so good. It's blue. That white has a hard contrast. It's really cool. One could argue, it kind of looks like he should be having ice powers. I get where you could make that argument, but this dude is fast. This dude is a real, like, Flash type of look. I really, really like it. I'm not sure what I'd ever do with this, like, screaming face here. I mean, I guess if he's running really fast and he's screaming, I guess it works. I don't know. Something about this seems weird. It's like, this has got a lot of emotion. And, like, I mean, it's a good screaming head. But, like, is he just, like, running really mad? I get it. I just don't know what I'd ever do with this head. In fact, this head feels like if I kit bashed this onto a different body, I can make like a really cool wizard that's like shooting a fireball or something like that. And that's probably realistically what'll end up happening to this head, or it'll go on somebody else for something or whatever. Or I'll have him like doing a funny picture where he's just screaming at somebody for like no reason while they're trying to do something like that's not that serious. I mean, he's got the butterflies, and they really go in to the point where he can mope. And then they go really back so that he can be like, wee. So, the butterflies are crazy good on this guy. One could argue that we don't love this. But, I mean, he's got the upper ab crunch that'll make up for a lot of that. And all I need him to really do is, like, run. So, like, I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll have to play with that pose. That was a terrible pose, but he's fine. He's fine. He's good, actually. This is what I wanted. It's what I wanted the pack for. And you could make the argument, Bill, you could have just waited for Ollie's to drop that, and or something like that, and you'd have been doing just fine. I think there's a very good chance that these things will not sell out, and you will see this pack go on sale. But I bought it. I bought it. And I'm not mad about it. Next, we have a very serious face here for Black Widow, which is fine because I think she needs these types of like very serious faces. And then we have an absolute glamour shot for her other portrait. Like, that is beautiful. I absolutely love that. That's great. Otherwise, we're on the super articulated body, which is the only way that they should sell her now, because she's pretty much what pioneered this body into circulation at Marvel Legends. And I don't need to explain to you anything about it. You know what this body is if you've been collecting toys at all. And the idea that it like hurt the women's sculpt or whatever, and that's the reason we weren't getting it, I argue you are out of your mind. I think she looks fantastic, and I think they've proven time and time again that we're not going to lose these cheeks by making her posable, okay? You guys will be just fine. I'm not one of those people. I will say this. Articulation is tricky. You want it to be articulated because you want them to be able to move, but you don't want it, like, on a personal level. I'm not a big fan of, like, I think it's Amazing Yamaguchi, where, like, they move in a way that like really makes them feel robotic instead of like people. Like the articulation scale, the way it's cut up. I had a Wolverine from them, And, like, I really did not like that Wolverine. It felt weird. Like, it felt really, really weird. I just did not like it, and I ended up getting rid of it. Otherwise, this is one of the outfits that I remember her wearing, but I personally never cared. This is not one of the outfits that she ever wore that I went, man, that Black Widow is where it's at. It's fine. It's a black bodysuit. It has red spider legs. That's it. That's all it really was. I don't hate it, but it's not the best thing I've ever seen either. I'm hiccuping. The heads are very good. Like, very good. I'm very impressed. Otherwise, neat. Now, I'm positive there's been a lot of conversation. So let me set this up, and I will go back and we'll start seeing what some people were saying, because that was a long one. But I knew the second that I was opening him, I had a chance to talk about this, because I've been wanting to talk about this topic for a while now. I've been in consideration about this topic for a while now. And the thing that actually brought it to my attention was not necessarily them. It was the new He-Man from Chronicles. That's what brought my attention to it, is he, like, doesn't come with anything. He's like just He-Man. But damn it, if they didn't literally take all their money and put it in the body. Like, for the price that he's at, I'm seeing a lot of people utilize that body now to basically just make custom barbarians, because it is very, very good for what it is. I'm impressed with it. And then it got me thinking. He comes with a power sword. Like, that's it. But, like, is that all you need for your He-Man? Where's the lightning effect and the rock he can throw and the stuff? Like, if you wanted to give him a bunch of stuff, you could have. They chose not to. Is that the way to go? So I definitely wanted that video out here. And Captain America opening him gives me the chance to talk about it. So yes, the first open was a lot, and I understand that. Thanks for sticking with me. If you did, I know I ranted and talked a lot. But hey, I guess sometimes that's what this show is. If you think this is a toy review show, it is not. We are talking fandom and toys, and we just happen to be opening figures. Like, it's not that show. I'm not a toy review guy. I promise that chapter will get comments like, show the toy. Nobody cares. I promise that's coming. And then when I do, it's basically, I like Captain America. Let's move on. It's so funny to see people discover this show and discover how much they hate it, because that's not what they were looking for. Like, and then I just comment back to them like, I'm sorry, that this is not for you then. I'm not changing what I'm doing. Like, this is what I'm doing. Okay. Going on from that, we have there we go. And then coming off of that, that swoops us back around to there. Now let's see, because I'm positive there's been real talk. Oh my, yes, okay. Any thoughts on Bunny Slippers Hulk? I'm oddly interested. That is not a Hulk I read. I've read very little Hulk in my life. I like the Hulk. I like when he shows up in things. I wanted a Hulk. I got a Hulk. If he came down in price, it's one of those things we just talked about. I bought Dumbface Skeletor. He's right there. He's laughing at you every single video. There is a reason he sits right there on the shelf. That's not a mistake. He is literally targeted to look at the camera like this in every single episode. I love that. I love that figure. I love that toy. I don't care who didn't like it. It's dumb and I love it. If that Hulk was on sale and they like cut him down like 50%, you would probably get a buy from me just because he's so ridiculous. I think I would love him. Even though I'm not a Hulk person and don't know anything about it. But Bunny Slippers Hulk kicking back on the Beavis and Butthead couch watching TV would be a phenomenal, funny picture, and I would love it. So, yeah. Let's see. WWE is making He-Man figures. This is actually not the first time that they've done a crossover, if I'm not mistaken. I seem to recall a Superstars Motu or whatever, and the wrestling ring that I have that I put on my Street Fighters in. That's a Motu wrestling ring. So I actually don't think this is the first crossover thing that they've done. I think this is like a follow-up. Spider Putz, buys whatever a Spider Putz buys. He absolutely does. That's me. Look, know your hobby, call yourself out, live your life, collect your toys, have your fun. Don't take your life so seriously. It ain't worth it. Thank you. Thank you, sir. That always blows me away. You never have to do that. But you always do. Like, thank you so much, man. How you doing? Let's see. I like your Kurt Ratz shirt. God damn it. All right, well played. Well played. I do too, actually. I'm a big fan of it. Let's see. Speaking of aftermarket prices, I did see a guy trying to sell Hank Pym and Wasp 2-pack for $200 plus. See, the aftermarket. So, like, I had a lot of people, like, even people that were, like, literally doing videos, and I did a short responding to it, like, basically, like, shut your mouth. You can't know. Like, and he was like, are we really buying? To all the people that are buying this as a 2-pack, you're wasting your money. You're stupid. This is going up on clearance. You know that it's going to be available everywhere. You know they won't even be able to give this away. You don't know that. You don't know. And we're living in very weird times right now, okay? Let's just put it out there. I'm not going to get political. This show has nothing to do with that shit. But listen. We do have to address the world that we live in. The world that we live in right now, for the first time ever in my life, prices are going up on things that are still available. You now, if you did not buy in to the PlayStation ecosystem or the Switch ecosystem or the Xbox ecosystem when they came out, it now costs you more to get inside that ecosystem than it did when they released. I know there's stipulations and things happening, but it's the world we're living in right now, so this is a truth. You didn't know the market was going to do that. I don't care. There was no evidence up to that point that we were ever going to reach that point. We weren't, like, our whole lives, from literal all the way back in NES, all the way forward, consoles come out, then they drop in price, a bunch of people buy them at launch, and then some people get them a couple years later after they come down a couple $100. It has always been that way. I passed on a Batman because it was a gray and blue Batman with the yellow oval from Superpowers. There's going to be plenty of Batmans. I'm not going to have to worry about Robin. People don't like Robin enough to buy him. I'll just get him later. I was wrong. That Batmobile video specifically talks about that. I passed on him. And I said, that's going to hit clearance. I'm going to play the clearance game. I'm going to get all of them for like $20 for the entire set. I'll get the Batmobile, the Batman. I'm not worried about it because the Batwing was selling for $5 clearance. I knew. We all knew we were all wrong. Sometimes the market will shock you with what sells, what doesn't sell, and what hits the aftermarket for outrageous prices that nobody saw coming. That if you ever want it, this is your only choice. So I had the money. They released this 2-pack. It's the only Quicksilver I ever wanted and will ever need. I don't mind having a new Black Widow. I bought it. I'm not mad about it. But had I waited, and it would have done something like this, or shocked me like that Batman figure, I'd have just never got it. Ever. Because I won't pay this level of aftermarket price. And sometimes it's the only choice you have. Walk away. Does that mean you'll never have that figure? It could. It could. I'm well aware of that. What can I tell you? Like, the world is crazy. We think we could predict this market. Sometimes you can. Sometimes you can't. That's why I bought them. That's why I did that video telling that guy, I was like, dude, you don't know? Like, you don't know. You think you do. And chances are with this pack, you are right. But boy, if you were one of those guys that thought that this just wouldn't sell, because, like, they're not that special, really. Nobody's really worried about picking up the Wasp. Good luck getting one. I understand playing the waiting game. Some of these things are overpriced and we're all pinching pennies right now. But sometimes if it's something that you want, you might need to make the way for it. Because the price is set. And I would like to tell you the price will just go down. We're not living in that guarantee anymore. Because of aftermarket and because of just current global situation. As you know, I collect TMNT, and I'm going to piggyback off what you said. I always start with I imagine that's Raphael. It probably auto-corrected you. I always start with Raphael if I can get all four for a line, or Wave, then Donatello, then Michelangelo. You did say Raphael. It auto-corrected you. I knew what you were saying. That's I don't necessarily have an order. I guess I would pick up Leo first if I picked up anything. But yes, that is absolutely, I have a collection rule with Ninja Turtles. I buy the Turtles first, then Shredder, then Splinter, and if I cast off from there, I go from there. But those are the only ones that matter to me in my head that have to be on the shelf, and then I go from that point forward. Yes, that is an absolute collection rule. Hello there. Finally got to be in one of these again after night shift at college messed up my schedule. I didn't know that. Are you going, or are you going to college or working at the college? I got a buddy that works at the college. For me, maybe power, effects, comic effects, weapons, or large-scale sci-fi guns that you normally would not find with other Marvel Legends. That's the only way I see myself paying for that. And you're referencing like an accessory pack. I think better figures, and if I want the other stuff that comes in an accessory pack, then I'll buy it. But the figure is the main part to me, and I want the best figure first, then accessories. Otherwise, I don't see myself getting it for a bunch of hands alone. Right. Because I know the next so-called ultimate stuff, Spider-Man, will have some of that covered. Right. Yeah, like I was saying, I have hundreds of hands in boxes. But I got that way because we're very much accessory oriented this like now, and it's kind of wild when I think about it. He can't be the SNES captain. He can't be the SNES Avengers captain. He's not in a black suit with some colors. Captain America. Yep, yeah. America captain. Fuck yeah. Dang, man. I told you, I'm still raspy. The longer it goes, the more it seems to hit me. Bill, 2 weeks later. I got street clothes Captain America. Let's talk about him. Intro music. That would be a tough sale. I very much get the joke because I do this sometimes. But you actually got me wondering. I'm going to make a note real quick because you just got me thinking about something in general. Street clothes figures. Because now I'm curious, what figures would I want street clothes variants for? And there's not many of them, but I'll bet you I could make at least a 5 list of figures that make sense for street clothes variants. I don't think it is the last time we see Cap on here. The reboot for MCU is coming, and they will drop a new Cap with a new actor pick. No, but I don't really buy MCU stuff. I bought the Black Widow, Punisher, Daredevil, oh, okay, and 3 Spider-Man from movies. And then I made Bully Parker up here on the shelf. And that's all. So that's how many movie figures I've ever had, and one of them I made. So I don't know that I don't think they could get me to buy a Captain America movie figure. Bill, I think this is the end of Captain America on my channel. Hasbro. Oh, really? That's his exploding diarrhea face. Dude, if I had that old Ghostbusters toilet, I would put him on the toilet making that face. I would do that. I would take that picture. Think you'll pick up the $20.99 Hulk that just went up for pre-order? No. I did. We actually did cover that in the last. There was a video a while. It had to have been recent, but I'm not going to claim that I remember exactly what my posting schedule was over the last couple days. Because ever since the tooth broke, that's been my primary focus almost day to day is Wednesday. Wednesday, they drill holes in my head, and supposedly this will start to be fixed. But, no, $20.99 always felt like some over-exaggerated 90s crap to me, and I was never on board with it. I liked $20.99 Spider-Man, and then almost everything else I thought was was overdone and over-exaggerated and just too 90s. I have a real problem with a most 90s design. Most of it. But yeah, I'm not picking it up. And I don't know, aside from Spider-Man, if they'll ever get me on a $20.99, if you want the truth of it. Quicksilver versus Dumbface for dumbest face. Do it! Oh man, Dumbface wins. This guy's just mad. This guy's just mad. Widow's outfit could have been painted better in my opinion, like metallic yellow or something. Oh, you mean like these parts? That might be fair. That might be fair. And there's something to say for Black Widow kind of feeling basic is the only way I could put it, because like it is. People talk about Spider-Man. This is Black Widow. That's a black bodysuit, and they put a couple red lines. You want to talk about easy reuse? If I had to tell you why they chose Black Widow first, in terms of making this super articulated body here, it was because they knew that they could then use her for Fantastic Four, for Spider-Gwen, for Spider-Woman, and then all they have to do is make mild modifications. She was just like Spider-Man. It is the perfect blank body figure that they know will sell, and then they know they can use again and again. I'm positive of that. There's no doubt in my mind. Looks like multiverse. So let's set that up real quick. Ah. How many of these do I have sitting over here? Oh. That's actually more than... Whoa! Don't be trying to sneak up on me when I turn around, all right? I turned around, all right? And I'm looking over the... It's not your cue to, like, sneak up behind me, camera. You stay back there. Let me... I see you. Camera. What is that? Who else? Who is this? Oh my gosh. I'd forgotten that one was sitting down there. And then... Sure. There we go. That'll do. Let's see. I'll probably pick up the Scarlet Witch and Vision 2-pack from this era when it gets announced. I'm debating. I don't have a Scarlet Witch. I debate what my iconic feeling is for her, because when it comes right down to it, I'm not a big fan of Scarlet Witch, if at all. So would I buy a Scarlet Witch at all, even if it was the one I consider to be iconic? I have her brother. I don't know. Would I buy one just to have a video so I can complain about her? No. I would probably do a video talking about why I'm not getting her and then complain about why I never bought a Scarlet Witch. That probably seems more in line and more, how am I going to phrase this? More genuine than the disingenuous YouTubers that will make like 20 hate videos about how terrible something is and how they absolutely will not support it, and then tell you not to support it, and then buy it, and then claim that it's because they have to review figures on their channel. That it's not. No, you didn't buy it so that we could see it, so you could prove that it's garbage. You jumped on the hate bandwagon, got a whole bunch of clicks and views, and then jumped over to get the other part of it where you did the video and then either hated on it like a hate review, or one of those, oh man, I was wrong, it's better than I thought it was type of thing, so that you could be redeemed by the other half that were tired of your hate videos. It's a game, and I don't even click on those videos once I start seeing them posted, because I don't care what your opinion is. If the last 10 videos you did was, this is trash, now let me buy it, I don't care what you have to say about it. Your opinion became immediately invalid for me. However, Vision, I like Vision. Would I get it if the Vision was solid? That's questionable. Because one could argue I could just buy a single Vision. There has to be a single Vision, right? I just haven't bought one. What one would I want? Would I want that Vision that was basically like all white or whatever? Is that the one I want with like the cape? That's the one I remember from video games and such. And I remember in the comics, he was kind of, I don't know. Like, I actually don't know. I'm curious now what one I would get and whatnot. Speaking of accessories, she came packing. Let's see, Avengers, The Crossing, I think is the miniseries these two are from. All I remember is seeing that costume, and I was reading, like, I cannot remember for the life of me. I remember I was reading comics, off and on, I was skipping all over the place at the time, and I saw that as the costume, and I was like, that's the best thing he's ever worn. And ever since then, like, they've shown me other ones. They're like, hey, this is the green costume. I'm like, you can keep that. Like I was just kept waiting. And then finally, they released that 2-pack. And I was like, all right, you've got me. I want a Quicksilver. I do. But I didn't know which one I wanted. That's perfect. That's the costume that I think is the best one he's ever worn. You got me. Let's do it. That's the only way I'd buy Professor Hulk, is if he goes on sale. So I'm kind of right there. Let's see. Wow. What a name. You got a name there, man. Let's see what you said. I just got the NECA NES Jason. That's been a holy grail of mine, Friday the 13th collection for years. Oh, the one where he's like purple or whatever, because he was like all purple, and that's actually pretty cool. I seen him at a I don't remember what the store's called. There's a toy store in my mall that carries a lot of NECA, and they had one of him, so I've seen him. He's neat. What does it matter if it's going to be something nobody else wants in the future, as long as the buyer is happy with it? Yeah. Like, who cares? Don't you have some grown-ass man stuff to complain about? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who cares? It's so wild to me that people get so hung up on what somebody else is collecting. Like, let's see. So far, Lobo's winning. That's no big surprise. He's the main man, of course. It's so funny because you have some joker online saying, overrated. Nobody wants that deluxe lizard. Oh yeah, looks sold out to me, pal. I was seeing that. Yeah, I saw that a couple times where people were posting that he's like overrated and a trash lizard, and like this guy's not going to sell. We're easily going to get him. I saw those comments as well. Then I seen him sell out, and I saw that people are like looking for him. To the point where when I got mine, somebody was even commenting that theirs was like canceled. That, you know, one of those inventory things where like I had one and they canceled it, now I can't find one. So yeah, this idea that you can like, these people come out with absolute confidence that they can guarantee the market. Oh, scared, this is destined to be on clearance, blah, blah, blah. Good luck with that. You're playing clearance chicken. Hope you win. Me? That's the only Quicksilver I ever wanted. I bought him. Wait, did Seth Sario level of Fandom Night fame make you think a new video idea? I win science! Make Nick put it in the book of win and losses. Yes, yeah, because actually that's not a bad topic, actually. Is there's not, because I have another one that's set to be done, which is figures that absolutely need battle damage variants. Like, they are known for getting damaged. We need these figures in battle damage variants. The other one that I was thinking about, now that you just said it, yeah, the street clothes thing, that's a good variant idea. And one that for certain people makes a lot of sense. Hey, Bill, did you like the TMNT Batman animated movie that came out not too long ago? Yeah, I thought that was fun. Yeah, I did. I liked it quite a bit, actually. I think Batman may be a little too on par with Shredder. Because, like, I get tired of Batman being Batman. That's something that I've always had a problem with. Always. Batman with this, because I'm Batman, that kind of crap, I hate that. I prefer when we see that Batman is what he is. He does have certain limitations. There are people that in a fist fight with Batman, he will get wrecked. He's not going to win. I thought that he did a little too well against Shredder. Batman trained most of his life in martial arts. And he has a lot of real-world martial art experience. Like putting techniques to the test and seeing if they work. This is fair. Shredder was literally born into it. Shredder should be literally on Snake Eyes level, Storm Shadow level. No regular man, regardless of talent, should be able to just match him. Unless Shredder is caught off guard, or Batman uses gadgets that kind of throw him off or something. I thought that I liked it, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that fight in the animation or whatever. But I did kind of feel like Batman was almost a little too good. Like, aside from a mild part of the scenario that plays out, they made Batman so good that Batman is on par with the Shredder. Sorry, nose itches. If not better than the Shredder. And then on top of it, he can easily beat up all four turtles. So, like, and if he can take the Shredder and the turtles, then, like, why are they there? Like, it's not a team up. It's not a team up. It's not like he needs anybody. Batman is, once again, Batman, and he could have handled the whole situation by himself kind of situation. Like, that kind of stuff always kind of bothers me. Because I want team-ups. And then I want a situation that makes sense that why they teamed up. But yeah. But that's more of a Batman complaint than anything else. I just get tired of him being the best at everything, every time, in every situation. And the writer's best cop-out for it is because I'm Batman. I hate when Batman is written that way. Just give me a comic book Black Cat Domino and Elektra on that buck, Hasbro. Yes. Black Cat, absolutely. Would I buy a Domino? I like Domino. I would probably buy a Domino. I'm probably right there with you. Domino. Elektra, yes. I would like to add that we need a Spider-Gwen fully posable, like a ghost spider, a Spider-Gwen. You know who it is. We need a classic Spider-Gwen, not the newer version, the one from the comic book, a Spider-Gwen built like the one that's on that body right back there. We need that one fully posable on the new body. And I'm sure I could think of a bunch of figures that really need that. But I'm just going to preface this and say, from this moment forward, that should be the standard female buck of the line, end of story. Every figure, regardless of whether or not they're even known for being able to pose and move like that, should have the ability to do so. That should be the standard Marvel Legends female buck, mild modification as we go forward. Like, if we need different tops, like this top area here, if we need this to be a little different because some women are a little smaller, some are bigger, some have collars and things like that, or like their outfit is a little different, like with somebody like the White Queen that has like the brassiere or whatever that's here, so I know we need modifications, but that should be the go-to articulation scale for all females in the line moving forward, bar none. He wins. Did you like how McFarlane's classic Supergirl with the blue skirt and top came out? So I went and I seen her. I seen her at a store. I think it was like a Walmart. And I passed on her. I looked at her face. Something about it didn't feel right to me. I don't know what it was. It didn't look right. I liked that she had the coat. I liked that it was a wireframe coat. I liked that she came with the dog. I liked that under that, she still had the wired cape. I was actually surprised about that. So, like, almost everything about her I did like, but I didn't like the face. Then, somehow, I saw somebody post pictures of her on Instagram. And from the angles they were shooting, she looked spot on. To the point where I was like, oh, she looks great. And now I'm like stuck in this limbo where like I don't even know how I feel about it. I need another chance to see her in person. Because like, the new Lizard Marvel Legends is selling for almost $100. That's over double his value, which then enacts my aftermarket rule. Once you have exceeded double the value of the item, you've priced me out. I'm not doing it. I will pay up to double the price of the item aftermarket if the circumstance yields that that's what I really want and it's pretty much the end thing that I need. You could get my money. You put Wonder Woman at $200+, she's yours. You can keep her. Wait till Bill finds out Snake Eyes and Batman squared up in a Fortnite comic. How did it go? Because personally, Snake Eyes, by what I've seen laid down comic book wise, and what I've seen him be able to pull off, like in the small amount that I've read so far, I don't feel like Batman wins that fight. I know that Batman is broken, but it's broken because of poor writing, not broken because of good writing. Strangely enough, Batman is not broken in good writing. When they write him correctly, he is oftentimes the guy with the biggest disadvantage on any team, but he's really smart, and he's got a high-class detective brain, and he thinks his way through situations. That prep time thing everybody talks about, that makes a lot of sense to me, or at least that he could outthink a scenario. Like in the JLA book, that's my more favorite Batman. In JLA, they write him so that he is Batman, and he gets some Batman stuff. But when they all first meet up in the first JLA books, he shows up and he takes Superman by surprise. He sneaks up on Superman, and Superman even goes, "What? I didn't hear your heartbeat. How's that possible?" And he said, "Good. It's working then." And he doesn't explain it. He's got some sort of tech, but he needed it field tested. Something that hides him from superheroes, like superhumans with advanced hearing. Superman could detect him anywhere. He just hears the heartbeat. But he didn't this time. I'm fine with that. That makes sense. It's a Batman moment. He snuck up on Superman. Superman is even a little irritated by it, like, "Excuse me?" And he's like, "Good." That means that he probably tested this device 4 or 5 times, and it didn't work. But today, he's got it. He got it working. It worked. He can sneak up even on Superman. I'm not against that kind of writing. In that same book, we fight a group of superheroes who are not superheroes. They're villains. They're white Martians. They come down and they start doing a bunch of superhero stuff. And they start basically outclassing the Justice League. Some situations go down. The Justice League ends up fighting these guys. They take out Batman. They take out every superhero, but they take out Batman. And he crashes his jet. When the jet goes down, everybody else that has been defeated has also been captured. But they didn't capture Batman. One could argue that his first thought should have been, "Oh, they think I'm dead." But it wasn't. He used that brilliant mind. He walked out of the wreckage and fire of his own jet, and he said, "I know who you are," or "I know what you are." Brilliant. That's Batman. He didn't win that fight. It's not because he's Batman. He didn't do some crap that wouldn't make sense that you couldn't explain later. He survived a plane crash. He's done it multiple times, willing to give it to him. And he didn't walk away unscathed. His suit was all messed up. He probably is only alive because of safety features in the jet and the $1 million suit that he wears. Then he walks out of the fire and he realizes something. They didn't come after him. Why? Because they couldn't. Fire. Now he has a tool he can use and a battle plan. That's Batman. That works for me. He can be the coolest guy on the team as long as you're willing to write him in a way that makes him work. I can't stand cliche Batman wins because he's Batman, prep time, bogus garbage. That's not the whole story. Batman is still just supposed to be a guy. Us. But oftentimes he does things that doesn't make sense. He will specifically say a human can only survive about 11 minutes under sub-zero Arctic waters. Then the comic book will show him surviving 17 minutes and he comes out without a problem. Why? Because he's Batman? It's bad writing. And I love Batman. I hate Batman. Like, it's a very love-hate relationship. You would never hear me say Batman is my favorite DC character. That is why. It is because consistently they'll do something that makes me like him a lot. Then they'll follow it with a terrible writer that just wants Batman stuff to happen for Batman reasons, and I'm done. They were evenly matched, fighting for hours on end. They fought so much that other characters watched on. I think the fight between Snake Eyes and Batman ended in a standstill. I don't know. Something about it bothers me. I feel like Snake Eyes should win that fight. And like canonically, there are people in the Batman books, strangely enough, a lot of women that will beat Batman in the martial arts. Like Shiva will beat Batman. Kane Batgirl will beat Batman in like a simple fist fight. She will win. Black Canary in a boxing match, in a martial arts contested event, she will beat Batman 9 times out of 10. Batman's stuff will often make him win that fight if he ever had to fight her, but they have sparred and matched up in the comics, and she has won, and I don't know if she beats Snake Eyes. So, like, I don't know. It feels like Batman shit. Alfred wins because he's Alfred. No, Batman isn't your favorite because Wonder Woman is. Out of the Trinity, anyway. I'm surprised they never catered to Damian Wayne, kind of. Damian wins because he's Batman's son. I'm actually very surprised that doesn't happen. With the way that they play out Batman, I'm very surprised that hasn't happened. So, Lobo with a dolphin. I have only read what I have read. I only know what I know. What's the dolphin about? Like, I honestly don't know. We got a Lobo in black leather, followed by a Lobo in blue jeans, followed by a Lobo who's Jason Momoa. We got 3 Lobos back to back to back and a bike. Like out of nowhere. I guess not out of nowhere. We knew the movie was coming. You get the idea. Just bam, 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 bam. What do I like about Lobo? Well, first off, he's the main man. That attitude is a big part of his character. Second, he's basically Wolverine without the adamantium and some super strength. It's pretty much what he is. Like, he can survive almost anything. His whole character is cool guy. I mean, right? Cool biker guy. Cool space biker guy. I don't hate that. He'll use guns. Big, weird, alien rifle, crazy guns. He has that hook that's become synonymous with him over the years. That hook, you see that quite a bit anymore. When I was growing up, I didn't see that hook. Like, so I don't know when that became a thing. When I was growing up, he would fight Superman from time to time, but I don't remember the hook. I don't know when the hook became a thing, but I'm starting to notice the hook is there a lot. Like, it's sold with toys. I see it in artwork. The hook seems to be a thing. That's really good. One could argue that's good enough to cause a problem. Yeah, that's good enough to cause a problem because, like, this is really cool. And I look at things like this and whatnot, and I'm looking at him, and I'm not 100% sure that this right here is this right here. It's not. Paint-wise, at the very least, it's not. Am I going to complain about it? No. I got a Lobo. Look, what did I want? I wanted a Lobo. What did I want him to be? I wanted to be hardcore. That's what I want. I want him to be a biker dude from space. That's what I got. Black leather, torn up shirt, crazy face, looking like he's enjoying every moment of whatever's going down. He's a big, big dude. He's looking tough. He has a dolphin. I really don't know what that dolphin is about, guys. But I got a dolphin, so whatever. This is what I wanted. Some figures have grand meaning. And we sit here and we talk about an entire Superman movie. Or we talk about She-Ra. Or we talk about Ninja Turtles. Or we talk about a Captain America that we opened, then we have to talk a lot about. Some figures have grand stories. There are things to talk about. Some figures are just simple enough to be exactly what we want. Bill, would you buy a Lobo? Does he look like a biker dude that's having a lot of fun doing whatever it is that he's doing? And is he like big enough to be imposing even to Superman? I mean, I guess that would make... Then I'll buy him. We're done. The conversation has ended. We're done. Sell him to me. Would I like the motorcycle? I'm thinking in real time here. I'm considering. In a world with infinite space, I would want the motorcycle. Just makes sense. I don't want a Ghost Rider that doesn't have a motorcycle. Like I did not buy a Johnny Blaze because at the time he was being released, he didn't have a motorcycle. I didn't want him. Now they have a Johnny Blaze on the market that has the motorcycle. That's pretty cool. Would I want that? Yes. And that's the only way I would want one. I don't want a Ghost Rider that isn't ghost riding anything. There's a little bug right there. It's a little bug. I would stop and get him, but he's not hurting anything. He'll survive the video, and then I'll get rid of him. I'll throw him out the window or whatever. But, so look. Some figures are simple. And that's what we want. Would I want the bike? I don't think so. I mean, I think yes. But I think, let's be honest about it, I now have 2 Batmobiles. I have an Ecto. I have multiple thrones, which I do not know how that happened. I ended up with a whole bunch of chairs. I have the friggin' party wagon. I have a couple of motorcycles. I think I am at my limit for vehicles. Because I also have some Motu vehicles. There's only so much space a guy has. And I got a 10 by 10 collection room. And I've got all the shelves I can pack in here. I'm at capacity for storage equivalent. I've actually got a lot more space. I know sometimes it looks like that's really packed. It's not as bad as you would think. I still have a couple shelves over here that literally have nothing on them. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves that literally have nothing. The G.I. Joe shelf could probably be reorganized into half a shelf. I'm not too worried about it. Like, I'm not in a huge room. So putting a motorcycle in here that takes up a whole bunch of space for Lobo to be on, I think I've got the only vehicle from this collection I'm going to get. I got the 66 Batmobile. It's to scale. That's fine. You could argue that if I was, figures like this, the vehicles are fine. They're smaller figures. I have an X-Wing and I have a TIE Fighter that are scaled to figures like this, and they're still big vehicles. Like my X-Wing is like this freaking long, I think. And it's easily about that tall. It sits on my radio and is like longer than my radio. I have a TIE Fighter that is also a very big piece. Like, they take up a good portion of space. Like, this much space is dedicated to 2 items. When you start collecting like that, things get real tough real fast. X-Wing is my favorite starfighter ship in all of fandom. Ever. Like, ever. I wanted it. TIE Fighter came with it. Am I mad about that? No. Would I part with the TIE Fighter for somebody that loves TIE Fighters? Yes. That X-Wing, it ain't going anywhere. So the motorcycle? I don't think so. Part of me says yes. Would be cool. The space is not realistic. This is one of those collection rules. We walk away. That bike will take up 6 figure slots. That's prime real estate. And it's going to go to more prime figures. Like guys I have coming and some that I'm in consideration of. Let's open him. All right. Here's a big old space gun. From space. Here's a big old knife. It's big. It's ridiculous. It's meant to be ridiculous. It's got a skull on it. That's a cool knife. Here's a hook with a chain. It's meant to be a hook with a chain. I don't know why. I don't know what the hook thing is about, but it's cool. Here's a dolphin. None of his animals have been articulated, so like this is fine, but I got a dolphin. Do you say something about a dolphin? No. I don't claim to know. I won't claim to know. He does come with a stand. And judging from the way he feels, he's got a lot of weight to him. He will need that stand. Here he is. Come on, focus up. There. Got that face. He's screaming. He's part of the Kiss Army. He's got these cool boots, man. I like this star pattern here we got going on. Okay, that's cool. I like how that hides the knee because of the way that it's designed. I like that he's got the literal Kiss boots happening right now. I mean, they're not platforms, but you get the idea. I love... Oh, he's got Bite Me on his... That's cool. I love this. That's fantastic. That's done very well. One could argue, oh man, it should have been like an actual soft goods coat. I disagree. In this case, I think this actually looks better and works better for the kind of figure this is, that this not be that weird pleather material that's going to chip and crack over time. This will survive more than I think Black Canary's coat will survive. And I am 100% on board for that. I love it. It's got McFarlane level articulation. It's got the doubles. He's got fake butterflies. You know what I mean? Like, they go in, but like they're not that impressive. We'll easily be able to do things like T-pose and whatnot. One could argue he should have had 2 heads. Or like faceplate or whatever. I wouldn't be against that argument. To an extent. We did just discuss this. Like, we got a gun, we got a hook, we got a chain, we got a knife, we got a dolphin, we got a card, we got a stand, we got a dude. But the dude came with nothing for the dude. Not Lebowski, but this dude in particular. The main man. Where's his, like, thumb? Where's his middle finger? Right? Where's his other head? You know, one with a little more neutral expression. Do we need all that? Is this guy going to be real cool on the shelf? Of course he is. He's going to be the main man on the shelf. I'm fine with that. But for the amount of plastic that we got here, we could have got a different face. And while Lobo is fine giving him guns, I would have been more than happy with the hook. I don't know anything about this hook. But the hook and the knife would have made me happy, and they could have kept this. This is probably from another figure, but you get the idea. They could have kept this, they could have kept this, and I would have liked a thumb, I would have liked a middle finger, and I would have liked an alternate head, and this figure would have been complete. Stuff to complain about, that's all this is. I'm not mad at this at all. This is very simple. And just like I'd argued a moment ago, sometimes that's all we need a figure to be. Very simple. Bill, you want Lobo? The main man? Oh yeah, dude, I'd love to put one of those on the shelf. What do you need him to be? I need him to basically wear Kiss Army gear, and he needs to look fun, but also he needs to look like an angry space, like, biker dude right out of a freaking Kiss concert. Just, that's what I need him to be. Give me that. And they're like, here you go. And then I took it, and then I gave him money, and transaction complete. This guy's fantastic. Sometimes all I need is this. So today, we talked about a Skeletor that has a screaming funny face. And we talked about a mutant that has a screaming face. And we talked about a main man that has a screaming face. It was quite a day today, huh? Lobo added to the shelf. Regardless of everything I said, no notes. I'll put him on the shelf. He'll be exactly what I want him to be. I would do that if I wasn't getting more raspy by the moment, but thank you. Apparently the dolphin's name is Fishy. Lobo is a fan of space dolphins and goes out of his way to protect them. Is it important? No, but it explains it. That's all I needed. Because I had no idea what that dolphin thing was about. Now I know. Knowing is half the battle. Lobo. Of course, angry space biker dude saves the junky scourges of the sea. Yeah. Look, not a bad day. Opened technically 4 figures. Got an idea for an episode. Getting more raspy as it goes. So I'm going to kick out. Hopefully this gets better as I start getting like sinus. I think once they take care of this, it's going to help a lot. because they said part of my part of that tooth cracking and everything, and like the fact that I had to wait because insurance is what it is. Basically, this cracked and broke. Then I started having a lot of pain. Then I started taking painkillers. Then I started calling people. Then they wouldn't see me. Then I even went in for an emergency, but they were too busy. Then I left my current dentist and had to find another one who would see me in 2 days. Hooked up with that dentist, went down, got everything looked at, got an infection while I was waiting because of the amount that I bled in my mouth. That was very much what he said. Then they looked everything over, made a decision, and put me on antibiotics. And I'll tell you right now, I feel so much better than a couple weeks ago when we came in here and had to talk about this. Like, so much better. But I've noticed that I'm still like very raspy, and I cannot seem to dodge this frickin' cold or whatever it is. But they did say it could be part of me, it being brought on by the fact that I had the infection. And they said that even taking care of the infection, probably until the tooth is fixed, won't exactly be helping me, because the antibiotics I take also remove the bacteria that's needed to kind of keep me healthy. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. They get me fixed up so they can do the surgery, but at the same time, like, now I'm basically at risk and I got to take another. It's a mess. It's a fun mess, and insurance only covers what they cover. So I got to do it a lot out of my own pocket. So it's going to get very interesting these next couple months, seeing what I can actually lose and what I can actually do. Life is life. We're all adults. We'll all figure it out. But because of this raspy thing, it's kind of affecting how long I can do the streams. So I think we're going to sign this one off. I'm going to look at a couple comments, and then we're going to get out of here. But not bad. 4 figures, and I think there might be another figure that I might open on the side and just do a separate video once I'm feeling good enough to do it. We'll figure that out as we come to it. I was sitting here waiting for Bill to hop onto a space bike and listen to some AC/DC. It'd be sick. Interested for watching the Motu movie? Yes, I very much am. I cannot wait. You can't have Skeletor without Leto, sure. But given the recent news, I'll watch it in Japanese with way better voice casting. I don't know. I don't think he sounds bad. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I like Leto. I don't. I can't name a single thing he's ever done that I have personally watched that I have liked. That's fine. However, this movie looks like a lot of fun. It looks really good. And every preview that I have seen so far, I have not had to see Leto. He is only doing voice acting, and the voice acting he is doing, it doesn't sound bad to me. They got Japanese Yamcha to be He-Man. That's going to be hilarious to witness. Well, thank you. Also, if you know Gintama, I believe is what that is, they got the pro tag for that for Skeletor, which could be exhilarating. Huh. I don't know enough to know. I just don't know enough to make a decision on that one. But I am going to get out of here. Thanks for hanging out. Keep buying toys. Keep hanging out. Keep living life. We're only here for the time we're here. Enjoy it. I'm going to get out.